Fires on boats can be really, really scary. And the primary reason why is that a fire, whether it's on a boat or in your house or whatnot, has the potential to grow 25 times larger in 1 minute. It has the potential to go 100 times larger in 3 minutes. So is anybody on a steel boat here? Didn't think so. Fiberglass wood, they burn quick. So once you're dealing with the fire, once you've identified, again, you've recognized there's an emergency, you're doing something about it, inventory, what can help me, what can hurt me, AKA where are my extinguishers and how do I use them, then you're going to begin to attack the fire. So dealing with them, or responding to them rapidly on a boat is really critical. And sailors are the best because, they don't have emergencies at sea, especially not fires. It's a sailboat. Nothing would catch on fire. But most sailboats have engines. Anybody sailboat here have a turbo on their diesel engine? Oh, turbo on their diesel engine? No. The reason I mention that is because that's a major fire hazard. Hydraulic oil spraying onto a turbo of an engine. But they can occur. They could be in the galley. They could be in the engine room. It could be electrical. It could be a whole number of things. So we wanted to, really recognize as a problem and respond to it immediately and effectively. And your first line of defense with fires on any boat are fire extinguishers. I have a handful of fire extinguishers spread out right here. And looking at physically this smaller one versus this bigger one here, what do you guys see that's physically different about these extinguishers?
One of them's a dry chem and one of them's CO2.
So what Tim's saying is what's inside them is different. Are there any other differences you see?
What kind of fires you use on them?
You use them for different types of fires. The hoses, the different types of hoses. Any other?
The weight could be an issue.
The weight?
Yeah.
As far as like how much it weighs, or? Yeah, I mean they're not filled with helium, so there's a little bit of heft to them. And the CO2s are going to be heavier than the others. Are there any other physical differences you see between these?
Does this one have a gauge on it? That's easy to see.
Yeah.
I don't see any gauge on that one.
This one doesn't have a gauge on it.
Yeah. So that's the big thing I wanted you to know. Now this gauge here, we'll get into in a minute, but I can look at this gauge, I see it's green. I know it's good. This one, I don't have any idea. But what Tim pointed out, and there's no wind today, so we don't need to worry a whole lot. But what's inside them is physically different. This one is referred to as a dry chem. Oh, there, I'm sorry. No, I didn't think there was...
Dan, you want to shoot that thing down?
I didn't think there was any breeze out.
I actually was just going that way, but
it's one of those breezes that's world side. So now you can see what this powder is. It's a dry chemical. It's floating off through the air. You can see some on the ground over there. Chemically, it's almost identical to baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. There's the MSDS on it. There's no health issues. It just leaves a nasty taste in your mouth. But other than that, it's no health problem.
I got it, yeah.
And Teresa will give you a visual with this one. Is CO2, just a gas. Simple little gas that's going to put out the fire. And also, Tim points out, is each type of agent inside these extinguishers are going to be better suited for other types of fires. So the best way to think about it, and this is a test question, you need 3 things for a fire. What is one thing you need for a fire?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Fuel and ignition, some type of heat source. Put those 3 things together in a certain combination, you get a fire triangle, you're going to have a fire. So how is the CO2 putting out a fire?
Takes the oxygen.
If we get real technical, it displaces oxygen. Displace enough oxygen, the fire goes out. What's going to be the problem today with putting out a fire here? Displacing oxygen?
The wind's going to blow it away.
Yeah, we're outside. It's not very easy to displace oxygen while you're outside. Now, dry chemical, though, is putting out the fire a different way. Another visual. Hopefully this won't go back at you. How is the dry chemical putting out a fire?
Suppresses the fuel.
Yes, it's suppressing the fuel. Is it doing anything else that's similar to CO2?
When fire hits it, it creates a gas that snuffs the fire, doesn't it?
It also will displace oxygen, kind of like the CO2. So this displaces oxygen and suppresses the fuel, 2 out of the 3 things on the fire triangle, and this is only doing one thing. What's more effective at putting out a fire?
Two better than one.
There you go. Pretty simple questions. 2 is better than 1. Dry chem is going to be more effective at putting out the fire. But Tim also pointed out that they're rated for different types of fires. The dry chem extinguisher on it will say A, B, C. Does anyone know what that might mean?
There's 3 classes of fires or something like that.
And that class is Class A, Class B, Class C.
There's actually more than that.
Wood, fuel, and electric.
Yeah. So, what class? This I believe this is a test question.
Yeah.
What is a Class A fire? Anyone want to take a guess? If right now, if Brad instantly combusted, he just goes up in flames.
Paper?
Yeah, he would be a Class A fire. Anything that leaves an ash. Oh.
Class A.
Yeah, trash, wood, paper, fire, or Brad. Class A fire. So, anything that leaves an ash. Class B fire. Take a guess.
Liquids?
Anything that goes boom. Anything in a barrel. Oil. Class B fire. And lastly, Class C. Electrical. So the dry chem, not only is it more effective at suppressing a fire, it's
Really?
what extinguisher do you want to grab to put out an electrical fire?
I'll grab a CO2 or a halide.
But this is more effective at putting out the fire. Why would you grab a CO2?
Because this snuffs the air and basically you end up with the fire out. The other one trashes your entire system.
Yeah.
The boat.
If the fire did not kill your electronics or the system that's in your boat, this dry chem will. As a 12-year-old kid, I had a pallet of dry chem on a forklift. It weighed a ton. I dropped it, went all over our shop. When we were moving 5 months ago, we were still finding residue of that powder off of that pallet. That would have been now 12, 18 years later. We're still finding that residue and cleaning it up. How much firefighting time do you think you have? 5 pound, 5 pound extinguisher.
Maybe a minute at most.
Minute or two?
It's 5 pounds. Trying to get somebody to say 5 minutes.
30 seconds?
Good. It's not 5 pounds. Yeah, anywhere between 30 to 45 seconds. So for those people who just have 2 extinguishers that are half this size, that's 40 seconds of firefighting power. Not a whole lot. If you actually look at the Coast Guard requirements, they're almost identical to the race requirements for like a Newport Bermuda type of race. For a 40-foot boat, you need 2. That's not a whole lot. So you may want to rethink what you have for firefighting power on board your vessel.
And where they're kept.
And you're going to find today while you're fighting the fire, many of you will discharge a full extinguisher before you even put the fire out. The tag tells us things about what's inside it, when it was serviced, a few little bits of information like that. But what's important is what's on the back side of this tag. If we were to take the dry chems, what would be the first thing you're looking for in the dry chem?
Gauge.
This is in the green.
It's good to go. Good to go.
So if you were going to inspect this a little bit more, what are you looking for?
Well, this one is at the lower end of the green range, so
But it's in the green range.
barely.
Well, I would turn it upside down and make sure I hear the chemical moving.
Yeah, you guys all grab a dry chem because what's happening is this dry chem's mounted on your boat. It's boat's going up and down, up and down, up and down. Over time, that powder in there can get compacted. So you want to take the dry chem, and you won't feel it with the CO2, is pick it upside down, give it a little bang.
That one you won't feel it with.
Yeah, and you'll feel the powder drop in it.
You guys feel it? Slide down.
You want that carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Try this.
So Peter, if you're still inspecting that extinguisher, the gauge is in the green, good.
It's probably because we moved him around enough that.
Yeah. If you've already felt it once, you won't feel it go again.
But if you have extinguishers at home tonight, go flip them.
If it's dry chem.
If it's dry chem, yeah, sorry.
So if we were taking this, the gauge is good. We've uncompacted the powder. What else am I looking for in this? Why would this extinguisher not pass my check?
Seal's gone.
Seal's gone. The pin's out. Even if the pin is still in there, very often, can I borrow your hat for a moment? You don't mind? Tim, thank you. People love to use these as hat racks or sweatshirt racks. Not only the problem of location is going to be an issue now, but now the hat comes off, the seal breaks, goes back on. Thanks, Tim. you know, Johnny on the boat all of a sudden discharges the extinguisher. He doesn't want to tell the captain. He just puts the pin back in. Now you have less firefighting power than you would before. So if I'm seeing the seal missing, I'm questioning the viability extinguisher. The other things you're checking out is a dry chem. If you see powder residue in the hose, you know it's been discharged. Gum, you're looking for cigarette butts. A lot of people like to put their cigarette butts in there.
Amazing what you will actually find.
You may even want to take a look at the trigger. Make sure there's nothing obstructing that either. That's going to take you all of 15 seconds. Sign off on your fire extinguisher. If you get a Coast Guard who's really trying to be
Difficult.
thank you. They may be actually looking for that inspection record on your certificates.